Hey, what's going on, guys? It's me, Aiden from Cartoon Apocalypse, and today, oh my gosh, guys, this episode, Style Queen, the video that you're watching the analysis on, this episode was so big, so important, I didn't think it would be nearly as important, because usually, like, as far as, like, Carapace went, and Rena Rouge went, their episodes were, like, pretty cool, but it was mostly just the introduction of the superhero. But this episode, we learned so much. Now, before anyone gets confused, this video is only on Style Queen, so this is only part 1 of the Queen's battle. The video after this will be on Queen Wasp, so I will be separating it into 2 separate videos, and the whole reason for that is just so that I could get this one out sooner, and so that the video wouldn't be so long. So just look forward to another video coming out today. Now, since this episode had so much to talk about, and since, like, the whole episode was just kind of, like, plot related, and just there was so much going on, I can't make an analysis on the entire episode, like going frame by frame, talking about every little thing. I'm just going to be summarizing, like, the most important parts in my opinion. Now, there probably are some other parts that were important as well. It was just, I felt like these points that I have right now are just the most important, and the ones that I feel like we need to talk about the most. So before we get into this, I just want to say Cartoon Apocalypse, the channel that you're watching right now, is one of the best channels for Miraculous related content, and that's just simply because I make a lot of news and theory videos. So if you want to stay updated on all the dates and things for Miraculous, then you could subscribe for more videos. But let's get on to the most important parts in Style Queen, and this first one is just Hawkmoth's plan is confirmed, pretty much. We also learn a little bit more in Queen Wasp, but we know what Hawkmoth's plan is, and I mean, if you don't want to know what it is, I mean, we kind of can make the assumption, and we don't, like, truly know. It's not, like, 100% confirmed. It's just, like, we have a 90% guess rate of getting it right, because there were so many hints in these 2 episodes. But pretty much Hawkmoth is planning to get the 2 Miraculouses, the Miraculous of Creation and Destruction, or otherwise known as the Ladybug and Cat Noir Miraculous, and he's going to use them to make that one wish that we know he can make, and he's going to use that to bring Emily Agreste back to life. Now, I'm not going to talk about, like, what happens after that, because we don't know exactly, and that'll come in the predictions video that I make for the finale, because if you guys didn't know, the finale part 1 catalyst has been kind of, like, confirmed a date. I'll leave a link to that video down in the description below. It was yesterday's video. I recommend going to watch it. It's not like the date's not set in stone, but there's a possibility that it will be this month, so that's super important. But pretty much Hawkmoth has been doing this all for Emily, and he's been just keeping on the grind, and just he's not stopped trying to get Emily Agreste back. And it's not like Gabriel is a bad person, he just really loves Emily, and he just didn't know how to handle losing her. Now, I got a lot of comments on the video I made talking about how we knew that Emily was, like, dead or whatever, and a lot of people were like, well, maybe she's not dead, maybe she's in a coma, because first of all, would they show her being dead on screen? And if she was just in a coma, that would make it easier for him to bring her back to life or something like that. I still think she's dead, but I don't really know. It could be a coma or she could be dead. Either one, all we know really about her is that she disappeared and Gabriel went into hiding, pretty much. So that's really all we know. We don't know too much backstory, but this is very interesting. So now that we know kind of, like, what Hawkmoth's plan is and why he's doing it, like his entire motivation, we kind of already were able to guess that, and that's just been what I've been thinking. Like, pretty much this entire time of watching the show, I knew kind of, like, why it was doing that. Because, I mean, it's kind of obvious, but, I mean, it didn't have all the points aligning up until now. So, it's pretty cool that we get to see it now. But let's talk about some more points in this episode. Style Queen is one of the most powerful villains yet. Now, if you didn't know, Audrey Bourgeois is just, like, an equivalent to Chloe. Chloe might be a little bit worse, or maybe Chloe's a little bit better than Audrey, but I mean, she's still like a Chloe copy, so it's like she has a lot of potential for being akubatized, and she has a lot of motivation. So just, oh man, she was the most powerful villain yet. She pretty much was, like, indestructible, but of course Marinette used glue to capture her Akuma and, like, kind of save the day a little bit, but we'll talk about that a little bit more later, because these points are in chronological order of the episode. But the fact that these villains keep on getting more and more powerful are just kind of scary, honestly. Because if Hawkmoth's villains keep on getting more and more powerful, and I mean, as we know, the Order has been like mushed around a lot, but the villains overall compared to like season 1 are way more powerful in season 2. So it's like, it's just getting kind of scary that he's getting so close to taking their Miraculouses. So it was just very interesting to see how Marinette was like thinking of how to take out Style Queen and all that stuff. So Style Queen is definitely one of the most powerful villains yet, and I mean, it's just kind of scary if you ask me. Now the next point that I had was Plagg can use his powers without an owner. Now this is huge. This is like one of like the biggest points of plot that we have heard like a lot of, because I mean, okay, you guys might not think so, but just like from a whole plot standpoint and understanding how the Miraculouses work, which is kind of like what us as theorists try to do. We try to have our head wrapped around the entire show and how everything works, just so that we can make predictions about the show better. But him being able to use powers without his owner, as we know, we learned that he was the cause of the disappearance of Atlantis, the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and the dinosaurs being extinct. I mean, like, he was the cause of that. And from this episode, we saw that Plagg was, like, he created this huge, like, boom and explosion, and he, like, if Marinette or Ladybug didn't save the day and didn't capture the Akuma and do her Miraculous Ladybug thing, Plagg's destruction probably would have continued to expand and get worse and just cause all of Paris to pretty much like tear apart. And that just shows you the pure power that the Kwamis have. And my guess is the Kwamis take up like a hero or a person, they combine with that person just so that like they can combine their personalities, and because I mean obviously Kwamis are small and things like that, and 2, to contain their power. Their power is so strong that it's like hard to control. So that's very big news, and very big because we now learn why the Kwamis have a master and just things like that. So it's pretty cool to learn that. Now the next point I had was just on the Bee Miraculous. The Bee Miraculous has the power of subjection. Now this pretty much means that the holder of the Bee Miraculous can kind of take control of the person, because that's just kind of what the definition of subjection means and subjected. That's pretty much what I got from it, and what we saw in Queen Wasp. It kind of looks like that is true. Now another big important part was the Bee Miraculous was meant for Alia, which I didn't know this, but this is another huge plot point. The Miraculouses can go to multiple heroes at a time, so the heroes can pick and choose, or I mean Ladybug. Ladybug can pick and choose which Miraculous goes with which hero. So like, for example, the Bee Miraculous could have gone to Alia, which, I mean, obviously we knew wasn't going to happen, and I don't think there are going to be any cross, like, contamination, you could call it, I guess. But that's very, like, big news. I didn't think that they could do that, and the fact that Marinette was trying to give this to Alia is very important, and the fact that Chloe just stumbled upon it is also very important. So that's like really big news. Now the next point I had is kind of like Plagg saved the day, kind of, because I mean I kind of talked about this before when we learned that Plagg can use powers, but I mean just Plagg caused the explosion and then it just pretty much caused Marinette or Ladybug to escape and take out Style Queen. So I mean that's kind of why I put that down. And then Marinette almost saved Paris by herself. That's kind of strange, don't you think? How the best villain that we've seen yet versus Ladybug, who has struggled to take out other villains as well. That's just kind of like really big news. Like, I don't know, that's just, in my opinion, I think that's pretty big news. But I mean, this could have just all been because of Plagg, or I don't really know, maybe she just got lucky. But the fact that she was able to figure out to use the glue, and I mean, I guess that makes sense how she didn't need Cat Noir, because she's the one who does all the work anyway. I'm just kidding, guys. But I do think it's kind of cool that Ladybug was able to almost take out Style Queen with a little bit of help from Plagg. So I thought that was kind of cool. Now the next part that I want to talk about is how Hawkmoth, or Gabriel Agreste, has kind of lost hope. He hasn't lost all hope, but at this point in the episode he's like, wow, I've failed, and Style Queen was the best shot that I've gotten ever, and I failed. So he's just really losing hope. He's really wanting to get Emily aggressed, and apparently he made a promise to her, but that might have been in Queen Wasp. Sorry for, kind of talking about Queen Wasp a little bit, but Hawkmoth is like losing hope. And just, I'll talk about this more in the Queen Wasp analysis, but this is very big, and I mean, and I really don't want to talk about it because this is the Style Queen analysis, and then I'll talk about it in the Queen Wasp. So let's just say for now that Hawkmoth has lost hope, and then there's more to it coming in the Queen Wasp analysis. Now the next point that I had to mention was Marinette had to retrieve the Bee Miraculous. It didn't just go away or go back. I mean, I didn't think it would. It didn't make sense to me how she thought that the Bee Miraculous was just gonna magically go back to Master Fu. So I mean, I don't know. I just wanted to put this in here because that's kind of important. But I mean, I just want to put that in here. Now the last thing that I put down on this is that Chloe stumbles upon the Bee Miraculous and opens it on her own. So usually when a Miraculous is given to another holder, Marinette or Ladybug is there to supervise and make sure everything goes well. But Chloe just took the Bee Miraculous and took it back to her hotel or where she stays, and just that's like pretty like important news kind of, because she could have like threw it away and it could have been lost forever. Luckily it wasn't lost forever, but it's still kind of important that she just took it away. And Marinette was kind of like clumsy a little bit, and I mean, she's kind of clumsy just in general, but it's like everyone in this episode was being careless. That was a common theme. Hawkmoth was being careless because obviously Gabriel cares about his son, so I mean, he was careless about choosing Style Queen. Marinette was careless with the Bee Miraculous. Chloe was careless because she was going against her mother when she was supposed to be working for her, and just etc, etc. Everyone was careless in this episode. So it was a common theme, which is important to find in episodes when like analyzing them. But I mean, I guess that's kind of important how Chloe just stumbled upon it. I don't know. Ladybug needs to step up her game a little bit, but that's really going to be it for this analysis. It's getting kind of long already, and it's like I was planning to split this up. Just imagine if this was all one big video. Man, this video would be like half an hour long. But anyway, that's going to be it for me, and I'll talk to you guys later. Goodbye.
Is this supposed to happen? I've never attended a fashion show before.